Now we'll be moving on to session number 5, which is aimed at discussion on CSR sustainability and ESG integration. And the panelists will discuss about corporate social responsibility and ESG and sustainability policies. May I please request Mr. Abhishek Ranjan, Director and Global Head Sustainability Brillio, who is the moderator of the 5th session, to come on the dais, please. May I please request Mitesh Pandya, Chief Sustainability Officer, Vedanta Limited, Aluminium Business, to come on the dais. May I please request Mr. Vivek Prakash, Vice President and Head CSR, Jubilant, Ingrevia Limited, Jubilant Bhartia Group. May I have a big round of applause for all the panel members. So now it's over to you, Abhishek ji.
Good afternoon, everyone. I come from the city, Bangalore, the city which is always very sustainable living place. Very proud of that. And 2 weeks back when I was in Delhi, it was at 43 degrees, and Mumbai also doesn't surprise that much. So I think it's great to see that how CSR is now driving the ESG agenda or vice versa, because most of the time we all knew that sustainability is one day is going to be at the forefront, and I see in the tagline sustainability first. It's very true that the whole world is talking about ESG sustainability, and that's a one common lingo. Including the Sustainable Development Goals, I think we all should be discussing. We have very eminent co-panelists with us, Mitesh Pandya, who is the CSO at Vedanta. Welcome, Mitesh. We also have a distinguished co-panel, Vivek Prakash ji, who is the Vice President and Head at CSR for Jubilant Ingrevia Limited. And the topic what we have been given to us was that how do we integrate CSR, ESG, sustainability? It's not like competing philosophies or competing ideas, but it's a more of a complementing ideas. So before we kickstart this, panel, I know that the onus of keeping this momentum alive is not just for 3 of us on the panel, but is also on the audience. And we'd like all the audience members who are present here to also be participative in asking questions, feedback, so that it gives us more insights, more learning for us as well. So that is very, very valuable, and we'll be looking forward to receive a lot of questions from each one of you on this panel. And we have kept a good amount of time in this panel for audience questions. So before I request my co-panelists to come over and address a brief about what their company is doing, how they see as a CSR and ESG integration is happening. Just a quick things on how some of the global, data or global researchers are talking about ESG. I come from a company which is backed by a private equity firm, Bain Capital, and I have seen in the last 3 years how customers, how investors are asking questions around ESG. For many of us, a few years back, ESG or sustainability is all about environment, right? That's the kind of ideas we were always to think. Today, ESG is a lot more. So environment, social governance, what we do see here, diversity, inclusion, how do you take care of your own employee health and safety, people transformation at your workplace. All of this is getting included in ESG. So if you look at in the days to come, and it's not too early to kind of predict that a lot of things what we companies are doing for their own human resource, their own human welfare, employee welfare, will be a part of the ESG or already is a part of the ESG. Right? That's how the world is thinking. So when we say people, planet and profit, people is not just about the people whom we serve as a customer or who are affected by your operation, the community, but also the people who works for you, directly or indirectly. I think their welfare is also a sustainability. When we were doing a GRI charter, that time we realized that how many policies we have to rewrite for employee welfare. Why I am saying this? This is not the only thing in sustainability, but I think many times some of these ideas are left to discuss. So we will hear from both our co-panelists today to understand first how these companies are doing their in terms of CSR and sustainability, and also how their companies are defining sustainability or ESG. So with this, without much ado, I would like to request our first panelist, Mr. Mitesh Pandya, who is a CSO at Vedanta Limited for Aluminium business. I request you, Mitesh, to please, you want to speak here or you can be comfortable, whichever way it works for you. Thank you.
So, am I audible? Yeah. So, thank you. Good afternoon, gentlemen, and India CSR for providing me this opportunity to come and actually express my views. Yeah, inclusive growth. I fully appreciate. So the whole the objective is about how the evaluation of sustainability has taken place, which actually started. If you look at India, has always been a sustainable. From whether we're talking about Sarvena Sukhina Bhavantu, everybody want to well wish for everybody. Even when we talk about this. Everything Shanti, right? It means that we want to talk about the peace not in human being but also in the environment. Now, since then, I think that over the period of time, we are probably looking at that we are coming back to our roots. The point is that we looked at the sustainability from that point when this industrial revolution took place. People realized that environment is degraded over the period of time. Discrimination is taking place in the society. And then UN came into the picture talking about environmental regulation, talking about how we talk about, political rights, human rights, civil rights, all these things. But as a India, if you look at those rights were always provided. Maybe even in this last 300 years where we had actually domination from other countries, we probably lost that touch. I think it's a time to relook into ourselves, see that where we were, where we belong to, bring into our culture back, and look at everything from the respect point of view, because everything requires due respect, and that will help us in building the trust which is there. Probably that is what is lacking. And I think many of the things which we talked about, whether we talk about the inclusive growth, whether we talk about human rights, it's all about probably starting with the trust and the respect for each other. And we as a Vedanta, we proudly believe that the thing starts from the top. Because everywhere I think what we believe that if the leadership is not really sensitive to about things what they are talking about, the things will not percolate down to the ground. And we believe as a company, as a founder of this organization, Mr. Agarwal, that we believe that we want to give it back to the society. The whole purpose of the organization is about giving back to the society. He himself has pledged about 75% of wealth to the society. And we are also being taught to, engage ourselves with the volunteerism, go back to the society. Our CSR spend is one of the large. But end of the day, it is all about the inclusive growth. Whether we talk about profit, whether we talk about people, whether we talk about planet, everything has to be in, sync. Because unless until there is no economical development, the remaining development will not happen. So everything starts about how do you start looking at economical growth, economical development, human development, environmental development, and all this is linked with each other. And I think as we move forward, we discuss this in more detail, but this is what we are, and we believe that we are here to give back to the society. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, Mr. Vivek.
Thank you. So I think during this the entire conversation we have already discussed many things. In the last panel also there was a discussion that we should focus on CSR or we should go by business. I think in my view, if we are discussing about CSR, it means we are only discussing about 2% of the entire business. we have to think about other 98%. So if you want to create something good for the society, this 2% cannot do entire good for the society. You have to think about those 90% also, 98% also. So that 98% can create impact. 2% cannot create impact. 2% is just eyewash. In my view, this is just eyewash. Whatever you are depleting, or you are just compensating it. I'm not saying everybody is doing that. There are many organizations, most of the organizations are doing good, but there are many who are just covering up this. So if entire 98%, that is the entire business, is not towards this ESG or CSR, you cannot think about a good society in this world. So I always say about 4P. It's not 3P. So 4P about ESG only. So like the first thing is the product or services which you are producing. So you just think what product you are going to, or what services you are going to produce. If it is not required for the society, why you are into this business? If you are into a business which is required by the society, it's a need of the society, certainly your business will sustain, and society will also grow, society will also take your company in the longer run. So you name any company which is running since last 100 years, you just think what was the product, why they are till date available on this earth. Otherwise, many companies are coming and they are going out. So if you are thinking about those products and services which are required by the society, need of the society, need of the hour, your company will sustain, your business will sustain, and you can create a lot of impact. Then again, you have to think about the quality of product also. It's not just product. If you are producing your product and services in a good quality, certainly you will be a sustainable organization. The next P, which is again important, is the people. People who are working with you. I'm not saying you are not taking care of your employees, your contractual employees, or you are going in the society or doing CSR. It's not good for the company also, it's not good for the society also. You first take care for those who are working for you, your employees. You take care of them, they will take care of your company. And then you go to outside, because community is also a stakeholder of your company. So first is, so charity starts from home. So you first take care of your employees, and certainly your entire community will, and then again you will think who are there, who are getting impacted due to our business. Certainly the immediate community and then customers. So certainly you will work for them and your company will become sustainable. So second P is also important. Otherwise your business will not sustain. Third P, again, I'm always saying that if you are doing a business, you are into manufacturing of any product or services, you are taking care of employee or community, but if you are not taking care of the planet, you are not taking care of the climate, you will not sustain. You have to take care of the climate where you are functioning, where you are working. If you are not, you will not take care of those things, certainly your business will not sustain. And if you will take care of these 3 P's, certainly the 4 P is the byproduct of these 3 P, that is the profit. So certainly your profit will come, you will do your CSR 2%, 98%, 5%, whatever you want. So like I explained that his chairman has, these promoters have donated his 70%, but from where? Because he earned this money from the society, that's why he was able to donate it for the society. So if you are taking care of these 3 P, then only your 4 P will come and you will be able to create impact in the society. So in my view, ESG is nothing but inclusion of this 4 P, and that is and this should be way of your life. In the previous panel, somebody was asking, so whether it is IPR or corporate responsibility. It's IPR. It starts from IPR. If you are not taking care of you are not fulfilling your responsibility, how you will take care of company's responsibility? So, like in our company, there are many employees who are coming to our company for working. They are coming on train, on the top of the train, or sitting on the top of the bus, and you are saying that we are taking care of safety within these premises. Your company will not sustain. accident will happen because there is no behavior among those employees. So you have to change on those BCC activities to change the mindset so that if they are starting from home to come to your factory, they should follow the safety rules. They are hooking in the villages for getting electricity, or you are thinking that they will follow the lotto when they are working at your plant. They will never follow this rule because they are practicing at their home. So you have to change their mindset. So it's not just your employer campus, but your stakeholder also. So it's very important. So you have to make ESG as a KRA or KPI for each and every employee. Then only, so it's not the board, only the board subject. No doubt, it comes from top to bottom, but the board should take the responsibility that, okay, we will improve our ESG indicators in the next 5 years, 10 years. Same way, each and every employee should have some target for the next financial year in their KRA that, okay, we will do this at our level, at shop floor level also, at company level, at factory level also, at corporate level also, at supply chain level also. So each and every employee should have this component of ESG in their KRA. In our organization, we have learned this. Earlier it was not there, but in the last 3-4 years at Jubilant, especially Jubilant Life Science, earlier it was Jubilant Life Science, now it's Jubilant Ingrevia. So when we go for this RC, responsible care certification, we realize that it's not the company policy. Everybody should have their it's in their KRA. Then only we can think for getting this responsible care certification, and then we can sustain this certification for the longer run. Because every alternate year they are coming for audit, and you cannot get certification if your employees are not obeying those rules which have been framed for the organization. So now each and every employee is having KRA, ESG in their KRA, in their KPI. So it's a learning for us also. We have learned, and this ESG is a journey. This country has traveled this journey, and no doubt now time has come when we have to take a certain jump. Then only we will be able to sustain our country and this society also.
Thank you very much. So very wonderful. Am I audible? Yeah. So I think some of the very interesting thing came. One is I think compliance both externally and internally, right? And I totally agree that sometimes KRA setting really works. It's a debate between any organization that shall we do carrot and stick, but I think either of is not an option. You have to have a combination of both carrot and stick. The other very important point which came in this discussion, earlier discussion, that ESG is not just CSR, 2% of the net profit which you spend, but how do you earn 100% of your business? How do you run your business? That is what our co-panelist Vivek ji spoke about. The other element, I think, sustainability, many people will feel, or ESG, it's something has come from the West, or something has come from the developed nation. But the fact is that the principle of sustainability, the principle of ESG is actually given long back by Mahatma Gandhi. When he talked about trusteeship, when he said that the businesses have no rights to own they are just a trustee of their businesses. They are not owning the entire thing. And that responsibility, what he taught to businesses, business houses at the time when independence era was happening, I think if that trusteeship principle is kind of applied in today's world, and the greed, the whole greed, why I think somebody very rightly said that industry 1.0 and industry 5.0, what we are talking, and if you look at how we have had impacted the environment or the climate change, it's actually proportionate to how much industrialization has happened in the world. So I think the greed has somehow kicked in. We just thought that what is in for me today, we didn't think about the future, and that is a problem we have created. But there are good stories also. I think everywhere I have traveled outside India or spoken to people from outside India, they all are very curious about India CSR, the 2%. How did you do? And actually, I will be very honest. Many of my colleagues in the US, in the CSR world, they have a KRA, and which is said the India 2% CSR. How are you going to manage that as your global KRA? So I think that's a very interesting thing India has done. So any feedback from both you gentlemen? I mean, because we don't have a very diverse panel, so which is also not very good. I think we should have some more diversity in our panel. But in the absence of that, I have to call both of you only. So how do you think that CSR is actually driving ESG in India? Because CSR has a clear budgeted amount, but unfortunately ESG, I'm not talking about two companies who are with here, but many companies, smaller, mid-sized companies or not so large company, they still need to have budgets for ESG. How do you suggest that when they go to their management or board, which is outside the CSR, what are the tips would you like to give to drive ESG for their respective companies? You want to start?
I think it's a tricky question. So one side you are saying that 2% is a mandatory, and again, if you will read word by word this act, not a single rupee you can invest in the interest of company. You have to invest in the interest of the society. But again, it's the responsibility of us how you are creating a project which is having business linkage. If you are having a project which is having business linkage, the both will get benefit and it will be a sustainable CSR project. So CSR itself is a question mark. So today you are supporting a project, whether tomorrow if there will be no profit, that project will die. So are you going to create such project, or you are going to create a sustainable project? So like in case of Vedanta, so they are creating Nandghar. It's a very good project, but they have kept in mind from the beginning that they will not create a parallel system. They will work with the government, they will create, they will support, they will upgrade it, and then it will be handed over to the community or to the government so that it will run in the longer run. So this is one part. On other side, but here company is not getting benefit out of this Nandghar. They are getting benefit in terms of their employees' engagement, their branding and everything, but not directly the business benefit. And it has to go longer run. If there will be any instance where company's profit will decrease, this project will die. I am giving you another perspective of this. You just think about ITC Chopal. It's not 2013 story. It's prior to 2013 when ITC started. This ITC Chopal, it's a simple business case CSR. That time they had not thought about that this act will come and it will become part of the CSR also. But now it's a part of CSR, parts of business. So everything, company is getting benefit out of it, the society is also getting benefit out of it. So same way, there are many such projects, especially this paper industries are working, so our tire industries are working, so they are working with the farmers to grow more and more trees, and ultimately they are in their value chain. I am giving you two live examples from our Jubilant Bhartia group. One example is in Jubilant Foodworks. So we are having a brand called Domino's. So there is a product called cheese. So cheese is a high value product which we are procuring from various milk company or dairy companies. So cheese is coming, so people are thinking that cheese is synthetic. Actually this is not synthetic cheese, it is coming from milk, and milk ultimately is being grown by the farmers. So what we are doing, we are working with those dairy companies to work with those farmers to improve the quality and quantity of milk. Now this is the CSR and this is the business also. One side we are doing CSR, but certainly it will create lot of impact to the business. That the quality of cheese you cannot ascertain if you are not bringing good milk. So that is a link. Another project which it's a social enterprise model which we started. So there is a product in our animal nutrition division. It's called Herbal Choline, and it requires neem leaves to prepare that product. One day during COVID, I was in the executive committee meeting, and there was a discussion during COVID. There was a discussion that they are facing trouble to get neem leaves. Certainly, because I was part of that EC, that's why I heard that. Then in the supply chain was mentioned that we are struggling to get these neem leaves because neem demand has increased due to COVID. And then I came into picture. I told them why you are struggling to get neem. While neem is available everywhere in Gujarat, Rajasthan, in fact in this entire country. Then within 3 months, we activated our SHG groups. They established their own unit. So now they are collecting neem leaves, they are pulverizing it, and they have established a factory. SHG group has established a factory next to our plant, and now they are collecting neem leaves. They are dried neem leaves, pulverizing it and supplying it to company. Now, this is CSR also. Now we are creating employment of 2,000 women out of it. Only in one state in Gujarat. Another 2,000 are getting employment out of it. But again, it will take another 2 years. Next year, that is in 2021, we went for neem trees plantation across the country. Now in UP, Maharashtra, Karnataka, in Rajasthan, everywhere we started planting neem trees through SHG groups. So Panchayat has given land. We provided support to SHG groups. They are planting it. They are getting a stipend from us as per our. This is again a CSR. So now this is the responsibility of the development professionals who are working in these sectors. How you are developing a project which is going to create impact for the business, impact for the society, and impact for the environment also. So these are two live examples which I am giving. You can see these things on our website also. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. I think people will, when they eat Domino's pizza next time, they'll have less care now after your explanation. Thank you. Mitesh ji, over to you.
So I think the question was about how the CSR is going to bring in the ESG value for the country, right? See, for us, the CSR is basically the shared value, right? We are here in the business to support the society, and in turn we also get the money from the society, because unless until the society is not there, where are we going to sell our products? Now, if you look at all our products are basically for the community, whether whatever the metal what we sell, it is all used for the community only, right? It's for the benefit. Now, unless and until the society where we operate is not the prosperous, we are not going to become prosperous. That's a very, very important ethos what you have kept in our mind. Now, how do we do it? It is the only way you do it that you have a shared value vision. It means that what you do, your community also gets benefit, and whatever the community is benefited, that also helps the company to get benefit. So, for example, whatever the social program which we are running, whether we are talking about the watershed management program for our operation, which are in water, stress area, it is not only providing us the opportunity to create the water availability for us, but also, relieving the water which is there for the community, right? So that watershed program what we are developing, it is for the community. It is a localized program which is happening across the watershed within the 5,000 acre of area, where the community is getting the water at their doorstep. They don't have to spend money for getting the water, pumping cost and other thing, and they use that water efficiently for their agriculture, and what we get the water available for us, so there is no conflict between us and the society for the shared resources. Similar way, when we operate our power plant, the ash is being generated. Now, ash management is one of the biggest issues, but suppose if we are able to provide this ash at free of cost to the community and provide them with the technology which is, and the certification which actually helps them to sell this, ash-based bricks and provide them economy to earn the livelihood. This is what we call the shared value. Now we operate in the society. Now you know that there are now people are talking about whether diversity. But when we talk about diversity, we talk about only two genders. But there is a third gender is also available. Government has taken note of, and they actually put a tick mark over it. We have actually started employing them, because end of the day, if we don't have an inclusive society, the society will have a conflict, there will be riots, there will be some kind of issues, and that is going to create a disharmony in the society, and the society will not be at peace at large. So what we are trying to see, that whatever we do it with a purpose. The purpose is that That is a symbiotic relation between us and the society as a large. We benefit the society and society benefit us. And end of the day, what is the ESG end of the day? The ESG is like whatever this principle and policies which we imbibe as a culture, not only help us, but also help us, doing the environment and social thing, but also economically. So today, there is a lot of money available which is to be employed for the industry. Just give you an example that I think the number was about, say, I think in 2017 and 19 when this ESG investment had started, and in 2021, the investment under the ESG umbrella has almost tripled. It has gone to somewhere around 700 billion to $1 trillion is available for the use. And we as a country is looking for big investment because we are 100 billion plus population. We require money to survive, and we as an industry has an obligation to showcase the good industry and good work what we are doing. And this money available, because this money what we are doing is the industry is not going to grow, unless this capital is available. And this capital is available at a very dirt cheap rate if you are able to show and project that what good work you are doing it. So it is not about doing the right thing, but it is about showing and portraying what you are doing is right. So it is all about that how you are managing your business, how you are seen doing the business in right manner. And I think this is what we are trying to do it. And I believe the ethos, we as a country what we have, our culture what was taught, we as a industrialists, whether it's a Tata, Birla, or we as a, Ambani's and whatever the, we as a Agrawals, the company and country, we had always this CSR as a value in our mind, giving back to the society. Now that we want to capitalize as our foundation stone and see this value, the money which is available for the utilization, how we utilize it, and we grow as a company and we grow as a country. That is what we look at it. Thank you.
Very well summed up, I think, and that's a great way of kind of summarizing how sustainability is a business agenda, no longer a separate agenda, and that's why we see that sustainability is taking its importance in board meeting or leadership meeting. There's a funny incident happened when McKinsey did a survey in the US, not only US, global CXOs, and they asked that why sustainability does not feature in your agenda. Which was one of the questions which McKinsey asked to thousands of senior executives. And some of the very interesting answer came in that was that nobody taught sustainability in our business schools, right? Which is a fact, right? I mean, we all know that sustainability is now taking a front seat in many of the business schools, or you have a course and a lot of people are taking MBA sustainability program. But I think what change I have seen personally, I think CSR professionals, many of I started with CSR now taking care of sustainability, and many of the CSR leaders have taken in their respective organization. So in a way, CSR has brought a lot of attention to the social issues, bringing to the community. And that's how we see that today even India CSR is doing a first time ESG conference, right? That is what I was talking to them for many years, that sustainability should be first. CSR is a part of it. Beginning to that, there's a one topic which I think probably I have not heard in earlier panel and probably like to bring to the notice of this panel, is about the supply chain or the value chain. Sustainability does not stop what you do at your company level, or it's also about how companies are supporting their value chain. Two examples before I hand it over to our co-panelists. One is Ford Motors done very extensively for their entire retail network or their supply chain, and many of the large companies nowadays, they're actually supporting their vendor, because unless your supply chain is not sustainable, you cannot be claimed as we are a carbon net zero or a carbon neutrality company or a sustainable company. So I'd like to hear from both of you. I think you have given a great example for Domino's example, but if you have running a program for supply chain, if you'd like to share some examples around that.
So as I explained, so it's a journey. Sustainability is a journey. So you have to start first from your company. So how you are doing your business. Then comes to your other stakeholder, and supply chain is part of that. So, and there are many companies, even in our company, we are doing a lot of business through external manufacturing. So there are many partners who are doing external manufacturing for us. And if they are not sustainable, in fact, our company will become unsustainable. And so now when we started getting fund from IFC in 2010, so then IFC started doing impact assessment for our company. And that time we realized that we have to focus on green supply chain, to making our supply chain green. And from there our journey started, especially on this part. So we shortlisted our top 50 partners in our supply chain, and then accordingly we started. So we started first with the top 10, and then we are increasing the number. Now we have crossed top 50, and we are going again to increase the arena, so that more and more the vendors and suppliers who are associated with us, they are also sustainable, because without them we cannot be a sustainable business, because we are doing a lot of our businesses are mainly B2B, and if we are not sustainable, then certainly the people, because we are doing export to European and US countries, so if their business will be on stake. So that's why we are working on this, and it's a journey. I'm not saying we are 100% compliant and 100% all our supply chain partners are assessed on this parameter. But again, that we started with top 10, top 20, top 50, and then we are increasing the arena, so that all supply chain partners or external manufacturing partners are also working on this. But there are no compromise on few things, that is on EHS compliance and HR compliance. But there are many other aspects also which we need to work upon, and we are working on this.
So things for us in this. One is responsible supply chain, another is sustainable supply chain. Responsible supply chain talks about the human rights management, right? I think earlier panel talked about those untouchability, caste and kind of thing. Very frankly, we believe in the merit and the positive affirmation, because I think the people who are not able to sustain themselves, it is our responsibility to ensure that they get an equal opportunity. And to provide them equal opportunity, we need to provide them equal platform also. And that's where the affirmativity comes into the picture. And where it comes into the picture, we talk about the MSMEs, right? So we work with the MSMEs, we ensure that certain portion of our product comes from the MSMEs. Second thing, we also ensure that wherever we work with the responsible supply chain, in the sense that all human rights related issues, whether we talk about the child labor, forced labor, these are part of the laws also, but they have been ensured. Now what happens that probably we are, some of the issues when we go, when you go in US, probably they are not fathomable that these things happen in India or other places. Similarly, when you operate out of India, you can't fathom that some of the issues and inequalities issues can go and happen in Africa and other countries. For example, certain African countries always have those blood related issues where there is a continuous fight is going on, right? So there are all human right related issues, whether it is a blood money, blood diamond, whatever you call it, right? So conflict money which is going on. And many minerals rich countries are having these issues. So we are working upon this area. It is also require our, London Metal Exchange. If you have to sell a metal there, you need to have these requirements, responsible supply chain. So we work with this. Even many countries like say whether UK and all these countries have this requirement. We have a system where we have a third party audit system where we look at our tier 1 and tier 2 supplier, where basically how the audit takes place about all this regulation require with the basics rights part of it. Their regulatory requirement, whether they're meeting all the regulatory requirement, pollution controls and other thing, and then we manage. The whole objective is that we need to bring them to the platform where we are operating it, and it's a continuous positive affirmation by which you are handholding them so that they come up to a level, may not be today, maybe after the few years. And we have seen a great example, believe me or not, very proud to say, when I actually look at how the evolution takes place. We had certain suppliers where they are the power plant operators, very frankly. We are actually operating 9 gigawatt of power plant. It's pretty one of the largest private plant, privately owned power plants because our aluminium requires a lot of, captive power plant. those suppliers which actually started with our own as a one-off kind of thing, they got an entry into it. Now they are actually stock listed in Indian bourses, and they're running at many of the power plant operation. Not only power plant operation, they've got into the infrastructure. And when I look at the journey of these companies, it's amazing. So my whole point is that it is our obligation as a corporate social responsible company that provide an opportunity to compete. Okay, we are not doing any charity on anybody. We are trying to give an equal opportunity to everybody to compete in this world and see that they also get a chance to excel and show their talent. And I think we are very proud to do that, whether it's a part of supply chain or whatsoever it is. As a part of our policies, we actually make sure that we have a certain local employment and local supply chain development program. So we actually, as a part of our KPI, actually look at that how much local supply chain or local employment we are creating and how much local supply chain we are generating. And this definition goes for us in a district level, that we see that how much revenue we are generating or spend we are doing based on the local supply chain. Same is also applicable for the local employment, where we see that it's our obligation and to basically where we actually earn money, the people should also prosper out of that area. So we try to provide certain employment to the local community area. So these are the some of things we actually put up, whether it's a capital supply chain or whether it's a human part of supply chain. Thank you.
I think very valid point. I think the point which you made on the human side of it, I think especially like child labor, some of these could be totally non-negotiable. Some of these things I think will have some room for some timeline to do that. But I think some steps we can start very early, which is non-negotiable for our supply chain, and of course a lot of hand-holding. I know many of the large technology companies in the world, they are actually helping their mid-sized vendors, IT services company to comply to CPP, and they actually give subscription paid to those companies. I think there's a lot of program which proudly I was talking about Ford Motors with that. So I think we have one last question I have for our panelists. But before I ask that question, if anybody in the audience would like to know more about them or any questions you may have, please do ask.
Governance is also important to streamline all these things. And then only you can make your organization more and more sustainable, and your journey will be more stronger.
And especially when you're in a global setup, all of you in the room who deals with ESG would definitely know that how many times now we have to respond to ESG questionnaire, whether it's for vendor, investor, customer. The amount of the buzz has happened around ESG is just phenomenal. And I would like to thank this whole carbon net zero. What has the different governments have come together. I think that has triggered a lot of discussion on the ESG in the recent past. I think we have a question from the audience. Yeah, please go ahead. And if somebody can help with the mic. Do you have a mic for him?
Good evening to you all. My name is Mohammed Kamisu. I am a research scholar with Symbiosis Institute of Operations Management. I have a question. We've been talking about ESG policies and compliances. And according to research, nowadays there are about 27 countries that has made ESG disclosure mandatory. And India is one of them. Because as of recently, about the top 1,000 companies by market capitalization are mandated to disclose their ESG operations. So my question is, how do we know that this company are actually reporting what they are really practicing? Because in other financial reporting, there is external assurances. An independent auditor has to confirm that this has been what they reported. So in the case of sustainability, how do we know that, yes, the company is really disclosing what it really practicing? So this is my question. Thank you.
Yeah. It's a very good question. So, but now it's a part of governance, and most of the companies, so it's not top 1,000 company, government has mandated, but more than 2,000 companies in India are reporting on GRI guideline. So its journey started, as I explained, it's a journey. This journey started in India in 2002. So we were part of this, but there are many such companies who are now reporting on this GRI guideline. There is a component. So if you are reporting on that framework, GRI framework, so there is a third party assurance is also required. If you want to get certification from GRI, that is A plus or B plus, that, so based on this assurance, you are getting that accreditation, and it's a business case for the organization. So it's not voluntary. They are going for mandatory, and organizations are following it, and they are getting benefit out of it. So we are the beneficiary of this. In 2002, we started our journey. Third party assurance we were getting. In 2010, we got this IFC loan without any hindrance. And there are many other investors, external investors who are also investing and ready to invest in our company only due to this sustainability report. So it's same on the same line. Government is also now creating a framework. So it's a journey. So government has also started initially with 100 company, 500, now 1,000 company, and there is a proper process that whatever company is declaring, it is being assessed by third party, and so that assurance is coming from third party. It's not voluntary. So it is actually happening. That's why our country is growing like anything. So and we will grow, and certainly our society will become sustainable.
So, as I said that, ESG is actually built on the principle of sustainability. Whether you call it this sustainability is basically a principle. CSR is called the framework, right? Now, if you have to assure against something, you need to have a KPI and targets, and that only can be assured. I can't assure myself, that I want to reduce my water consumption. That my principle of living is that I want to be very economical, I want to be eco-efficient, I don't want to have a child labor, I don't want to have forced labor. These are the principles I which actually operate upon. And if you look at that, what SDG goals, or whether you're, basically, these are the basically principles, framework that has been done. Now, if I have to, basically on an ESG side or sustainability side, what we do as a company, we identify our material impacts. Material means something which is important to me and important to my stakeholders, right? So we are operating in the area which is like I say, high energy consumption, a high waste generation, right? Then our goal should be that we want to become a zero waste company. Our goal is that at some point of time we want to become a net zero carbon. Now, when I put a goal, I need to also provide a time frame. I also need to provide an action plan. And against this action plan and the target, people come and audit me that how I have progressed. So if you go through Vedanta's report, I think we are the first one of the first one to say that by FY20 we will be reducing our GHG emission by 20% or 16% over 2012 as a baseline. Now, once I have committed this to my stakeholders, it is my duty to regularly review and check and confirm to them. And that is the difference between the ESG and CSR. When you put your targets and goals and objectives and basically a roadmap, people will come and actually test you whether you are delivering against that goal or not. And that helps you to build the trust and the respect as an organization. And that's what we try to do when we show, and that's how we actually get it audited and review and report. So if you look at our report, we always very judicious to say, this is our objective we want to achieve. This is the goal what we have short term and long term, and these are the few of action plan, the key action plan. We don't put all the action plan, but this is how we want to deliver that our objective, and against we regularly keep on updating to our stakeholders how we are moving on that. Thanks.
Very, very valid point.
Development has happened recently. So SEBI has given a task to ICMA to develop a pool of social auditors. So they are developing module and everything who will become assessor for those who are reporting those 1,000 top 1,000 companies. So it is coming parallelly. So certainly within 1 year you will see lot of auditors have been trained by ICMA who will audit those points in those companies who have reported. So it's not just like GRI, the government, this BRR report which companies are reporting, that will also be assessed by third party. So government is conscious about it, and they are bringing other things also to bring governance into this.
Yes. I think, thank you for this wonderful question. I think paucity of time, we will have to wrap up, and we have already got instructions. I think my deepest thanks to both our co-panel. I think we were initially 5 or 6 of us, but I think they covered it so well. They were very candid, honest, and they also shared insights from their respective companies. I think that was like almost like they're running like a live case study for us, right? So thank you both to you gentlemen for your candid sharing, and over to you, Mr. Anand.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for monitoring this very well. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for such a marvelous session and so wonderfully moderated. With this, we mark the end of session 5. Now we'll start session number 6. This will focus on ESG technology and digital solutions, deploying ESG digital solutions to comply with regulations using innovation thinking, and leaders will be discussing on how technology-enabled ESG record keeping and data analysis. That will be session 6. But in the meantime, I'll request Rusen to come and deliver the mementos to our eminent panelists. I'll request the audience to join your hands and give a big round of applause for the panelists for such a deep and insightful session. Mumbai after Bangalore. Thank you very much, moderator Abhishek Ranjan ji and both the eminent panelists, Mitesh Pandya ji and Vivek Prakash ji. It was really a marvelous session and we thoroughly enjoyed it. Thank you once again.